Hi everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Chasers. As you can see here, I've got the HRRR kind of showing the high winds or the wind speeds as they move on the Washington coast down along the Oregon coast. And you can kind of see them punch inland a little bit there and then slide down across the region. One of the buoys off the Washington coast had a 60-mile-per-hour gust a couple hours ago. And you can see actually over the Puget Sound, we're getting a gust of 45 miles per hour just on the Puget Sound shoreline. I think Bellingham had 43 earlier. So this is looking on into the future a little bit here. So let's go ahead and cancel this out and we'll go take a look, zoom in a little bit here. You see Seattle still only gusted in SeaTac 26, Seattle proper 25, Tacoma still only in the teens. My house, we've only getting 20 miles per hour. I'm just off to the west of SeaTac here. You can see closer to the water and on the peninsula, though, they're getting some mid upper 30s and this 45 mile per hour gust here. Let's see, if we look a little bit northward, Woodby Island still only 36 right now. Bellingham 41, I think they had 43 earlier. And on the coast, looks like Quileute was gusting at 45. There's that buoy still gusting 52 out there, Aberdeen, getting close to 40 miles per hour. But no really big wind yet. And this should pick up a little bit here in the next couple hours. We'll see how that plays out. And while I'm waiting for the wind to pick up here, we can go ahead and look at some of the chance. Oh, actually, let's look at what the HRRR is saying. This is the most recent, actually, this is the 5Z. Let's bring in the 6Z here. You can see the wind favors the Puget Sound regions here as per usual. You can see Seattle getting maybe a 50 mile per hour gust. Some regions along the shoreline might get mid 50s. And I think Bellingham there is saying 58. You see the bigger winds along the Washington coast there. And again, we're getting a lot of saturated soil. Some of these trees might come down a little bit easier than per usual. So while we're waiting for the wind, we can look at, this is Spokane actually. Let's go to Seattle and see what the latest European model is saying for SeaTac Airport. You know, every run here has some accumulating snow at Seattle, and this is very interesting because a lot of the temperatures are above freezing, the very marginal event at that. So this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. I'm assuming this is from convective activity and tapping some of that colder air aloft and bringing it down at the surface and bringing some brief accumulation is probably what this is pointing at. The control run has 3 inches. The mean is almost 2 inches in a 24-hour period. So this will be interesting, and which means we're going to have to pay close attention as we get closer to this event to see where any convergent zone bands or when any convective activity sets up. And it also gives us time to take a look at the air aloft and see just how cold it gets and if that swings into Western Washington enough where it can get over the top of the Seattle Metro or the Puget Sound or Portland or up towards Vancouver, and see if that can accumulate on any surfaces, street surfaces or anything. So the GFS, let's take a look. That was Spokane. And we're going to look at Seattle here. Some of the members do not have snow, but most of them do. The control run actually has a little bump there going on to into Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon of almost 4 inches for SeaTac. So again, very marginal temperature wise. So I wouldn't expect any kind of significant accumulation on roadway surfaces, mainly just grass, cars, rooftops, if at all. Again, we're going to pay close attention to any convergent zone bands set up, how cold the air is aloft, and just how heavy the precipitation is, and if it's enough to bring the snow level down to the surface for a time. Taking a look at what's coming up tonight. This is just looking at the final run of the European model, a mean of about 47 for SeaTac, and you can see it's getting pretty consistent with its readings here. It took away a lot of the extreme ones and a lot of the lower ones. It looks like we're in mid to upper 40s. What we're looking for into tomorrow morning and maybe late morning. Let's take a look at what the last GFS had also for SeaTac. The GFS was trending upwards recently. It's got several members over 50 miles per hour now, but most of them, again, are actually upper 30s to mid 40s, mid and upper 40s. So we'll see how that plays out, and we'll see who wins this round. And in the meantime, let's look at the 0Z European model and see if there's anything in store for us. You can see the system moving through British Columbia tonight, which is going to bring our winds in through tomorrow morning. And then you can see some of this cold air drop down the coastline and some of these weak lows kind of meandering around into Western Washington, Western Oregon. You can see some of that energy travel into Eastern Oregon and Washington, maybe bringing Spokane and places like Bend a little bit of snow. No big Arctic air mass, as you can see up in the British Columbia. There is somewhat of a gradient, but this is nothing like one of our stronger air masses where you get this really high pressure built into central British Columbia and you've got a big gradient between there and Bellingham. That's not happening. So this is going to have to come from some kind of convective activity. These little lows spinning up bands, and maybe one of these upper level lows will get over the region, maybe Portland or Seattle or Vancouver, BC. And if you do that and you get a decent enough shower, you can bring the snow level down to the surface for a time. So I still haven't seen a snowflake here in Seattle this year. So I know we got some good stuff up towards Whatcom County last week. This is looking ahead into Wednesday night. You can see this low kind of tracking down right by Portland. If this comes over any certain area and you get a strong enough convergent zone or some heavy enough shower, you might bring the snow level down to the surface there also. And after that, it looks like that low pressure slides in and some high pressure builds in over BC and Eastern Washington, and a little bit of some more troughing coming down, still a northwesterly flow there. Probably good for some more mountain snow. Snowpack should be building quite well. As we get into the future a little bit more here, you can see some interesting ridging going on over the Aleutians there. And then another modest windstorm that would be if it came through there. And then maybe after that, maybe some of this ridging and north flow will bring some snow potential as we get towards Christmas. But we'll have to see how that plays out. There's no big signal for a significant Arctic outbreak as of now. And right now we're just kind of waiting to see how these winds play out tonight. And then we're going to look closely on Saturday and Sunday. I'll probably do another video by Sunday looking at the potential for some snow on into next week. Some of these, as these little tiny lows move around, and maybe we'll get one of these upper level lows to move right over the region and maybe drop the snow level down and give us some snowfall. So that's where we are now. So if you guys like these videos, make sure to subscribe, because I can do these briefings live and I can take questions about certain locations and give me some more things to talk about and answer your questions in real time and any other questions you might have. So yeah, click like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on Twitter. I'll probably have another video out by Sunday morning, so I will talk to you guys on Twitter. Thanks. Bye.